Hi everyone, welcome to the Quarter Acre Homestead. Today we're going to do a tomato harvest video and just give you an update on how the garden is doing. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are out in the garden here at the Quarter Acre Homestead and I was harvesting tomatoes. It's about September 5th, I believe, and we've been getting lots of tomatoes. We have a bunch of tomato soup frozen, we have tomatoes dried, we've been eating a lot, giving away a lot, and I thought I'd do a quick harvest video just to show you the tomatoes we're getting this year. So I already started picking. Here's my first bowl, and I've probably only picked a third of them so far. A couple really big ones that are about 1.5 pounds. This one is called Wes. It's the biggest one of that variety we've gotten so far this year. This one is Red Rose. And if I remember right, this is one that has hardly any seeds. Here's another one that's split, but this one is, you know what, I don't know this variety. Somebody gave me this tomato. It's kind of yellow and orangish red, and I saved the seeds, so I don't know the name of that one. These are Brandywine tomatoes. This is a variety called Copia. It's another red and yellow striped. This is an Oxheart tomato. It's a really low acid. It's kind of a paste tomato. Produces a lot. We like it. And that's all the varieties I've picked so far. But let me show you some of the tomato plants. So here, all these little orange ones, this is Sungold tomato. It's one of the only hybrids that we grow. Hybrid, you can't save your own seeds, so I've been using a seed packet for about 3 years now, and they produce a lot. This is one Sungold tomato plant, and it's higher than I can reach. It's up there probably like 10 or 11 feet, and it's still growing, still producing a ton of tomatoes. This tomato bed I actually have kind of one of a few different varieties. So I have a Sungold. This one here's a yellow Copia, which I showed you some of the tomatoes I picked off this one already. Over here is a Oxheart tomato, which I showed you some of that I picked off of that, and I have a yellow Pear tomato over there, which I haven't picked yet. Okay, so this is that variety I saved from a friend's tomato. This one's not quite ripe yet. There's one back here that's split open. Sometimes they split when it rains and they take up a lot of moisture quicker than they can grow. So it'll still be good. So I'll pick that one. Wow, these get nice and big. Here's another one. Look at that. Nice heirloom tomato. And let's move over to this side. So there's some more of those coming. There's one. There's a nice big one in here. Not quite ripe, and it hasn't split yet, so I'm going to leave that. Then over here is more of the Brandywines. Here's one that's ready. It's kind of a pink Brandywine. I got these seeds from tomatoes I got at the farmer's market, and I saved them myself. There's another one. So we'll just go kind of quickly through the garden, and then I'll come back and pick more later. So this next bed, let's see, we have right here in the middle is Stupice tomato. These get ripe really early in the season, produce a lot, and they're still producing. Then I have to remember the names of all these. These are, you know, I can't really remember. I don't know, maybe I'll remember later. We have more of the yellow copias back here. If I can get it off, there we go. And let's walk around to the other side. These are more pink rose. I showed you a really big one I picked earlier. And there's a lot of green ones in there still, but we'll get those later. But while we're here, take a look back here. This is our corn. Last time I showed it to you, I think it was like waist high. We've been eating corn for 2 or 3 weeks now. We're just finishing it up. Did really well this year. And if you look back there, there's a sunflower that, I don't know how tall that is, maybe like 14 feet tall. It's crazy. And there's a bunch more sunflowers back there, but that's the only one that got really tall. Alright, let's go on to the rest of the tomatoes here. Here we have the West tomato, W-E-S, one of our favorites. Has a lot of flavor and it produces a lot. So this is that other big one I showed you right at the beginning. And there's a bunch of them in there. Look at all those West tomatoes. Here's a nice one. Look at that. Beautiful tomato. Okay, then we have the orange Rouselinni, which this is the one I've told you about before. It's a tomato from Italy that's known for being really sweet and not getting any diseases. We have another yellow pear tomato, which those are really good for drying. You can just cut them in half and dehydrate them. And then we use those dried tomatoes. Our kids love them for snacks. Or you can add them to soups or rice or whatever. Then over here we have paste tomatoes. These are called Pozano. It's the first year I've grown them. They're pretty nice. They are a hybrid, so you can't save seeds. And then I have, like I showed you at the beginning, these are ox heart tomatoes, which I don't think there's any ripe there, so we'll move on to the next bed. And here we have more Sungolds, which is kind of interesting. There's only 3 Sungold plants here, but the one I showed you at the beginning is almost bigger than all 3 of these. I don't know, probably the conditions of the soil, or maybe I didn't fertilize as much here, I'm not sure. But Sungolds are one of the most flavorful and one that we really like and grow every single year. And then this last one is called Anna Russian. So, another one of our favorites. As you can tell, we have lots of favorite tomatoes. So we're going to go ahead and pick a lot more here, and then we'll show you the harvest at the end. Okay, so here's today's tomato harvest. We had one harvest like this 3 days ago, I think. So they're really producing a lot. Got a few more giant tomatoes, lots of cherry tomato size. So we can dehydrate and make a lot more soup or salsa and that kind of stuff. So I have a couple more things to show you. Let's go over and look at our pumpkins. Alright, so our green beans did great. We're picking green beans every 2 or 3 days. I think Blue Lake is still my overall favorite. Golden Gate, I've showed you before, was a yellow bean and it did really well too. But I think I just like Blue Lake. My volunteer pumpkins have gone crazy. There's a pumpkin here, but actually this pumpkin plant grew from clear over there across, and you can see one pumpkin, and then up here you can see pumpkin number 2, and up here pumpkin number 3, and they're all in like little hammocks I made so it doesn't break the plant. And then it went all the way up to the top, went down the trellis, came across here, had another pumpkin here. and it came up by itself. I didn't plant it. And then we have another one over this way. You can see a pumpkin there, and there's more down below. These are volunteer zucchini, which have done way better than the zucchini I actually planted. We've got a bunch of zucchini off of them. And then over here is our Atlantic giant pumpkin that you've seen before. And I'm not sure if it's done growing. Again, it's September 5th right now, so I'm not sure if it's going to get bigger than this, but right now it's really heavy. I don't even know if I can pick it up. So that's fun to grow. And then over there we have a sweetmeat squash. And then we have our, what are these called? Striped Roman tomatoes, which I'm still getting blossom end rot with them, so probably will stop growing them this year. And anyways, garden's done really well. Hope you enjoyed this quick tour. Let me know if you have any questions. Comment, like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you another day. Alright.